the first things that you give people are the first things that they can use.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Reagan, and you've discovered Unicorns Unite. This is a podcast for freelancers, service providers, virtual assistants, and curious listeners who would like to experience the freedom and flexibility of working virtually. We're the magic makers, movers and shakers, and the real people doing the work behind the scenes of online businesses. Welcome to Unicorns Unite. Hey everyone, I'm so happy to be here with you today. It's Emily Reagan. I am the mother of all unicorns. At least that's what my friend Ino called me the other day. I thought that was hilarious. Before we get started, the VA Crash Course is opening its doors very, very soon, and you can get on the wait list because that's where all the magic happens. VACrashcourse.com. I promise a super cool goodie to anyone on the wait list this launch. So go get on it, VACrashcourse.com. So today's episode is where I interview a teacherpreneur. Carolyn Gardner is a teacher. Or she was a teacher. Now she's doing this whole online thing, but she's a single mom and she's a brand new unicorn graduate of my Digital Media VA Crash Course. I asked her onto the show to share her journey. She was coming to me with some experience, but still needed help putting the puzzle pieces together, how to offer her services, what kind of clients to work for, and what her niche would be. So she's now using her unicorn skills to upscale her business while managing several clients. She actually already had a consulting business and has a podcast, SEL First with Carolyn Gardner. SEL is social emotional learning for those of you who aren't teachers who might not know that, like I didn't know that. And her podcast is perfect for teachers, parents, and community members. So go check that out. But today she's on the show talking about how she got started, what her business looked like in the earlier days, how the VA Crash Course has helped her, and just being in a network has helped her. And you are going to learn so much. So let's dive in.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, I'm so happy you are going live with me because I know it's scary. Have you ever been live before?
I have, not in this context, but yeah. Trying to get my background.
Yeah. What is it? I can't even tell.
It's a picture.
Oh, okay. I see now.
It's better than what was back there before. So I don't know.
Okay. I have my dresser because I do not have an office in this new house. Like my last house, I had a perfect office, pretty bookshelves. And now I'm like, I got these ugly mint green walls, but we're renting. What am I going to do?
I know.
So anyway, okay. Let's give a little background on you. So you actually, you're a teacher and you just joined the Crash Course. Like I've had this weird cart open period just with COVID. You joined, I want to say about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks.
I feel like it was more like maybe the beginning of June.
Okay.
Only because, maybe the middle of June, because I did your Facebook workshop first.
Yes, you did.
And it was a total sell for me for your course. So probably I did join the middle of the month.
Okay, let's talk about that. But first, tell everybody where you live, what your background is, and kind of where you're at in life before you stumbled into my group of unicorns.
First of all, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me here. So I just finished 20 years of elementary teaching last year this time. And I am a single mom and kind of in that sandwich generation with older parent, little boy, and a single mom. So, when my son was younger, he had a lot of health issues. So I started to feel probably right when he was born, really, I knew that I needed to be on a path to find something more flexible for us, just because elementary teaching wasn't the flexible schedule we needed in our life, whenever I had to get a sub, it was just like, and, kids are sick and you have 4. So, right, you probably would never be able to go to work with 4 because with me, with 1, I was like, it was hard. So, so I kind of started looking into things, but knew that it was going to really need to be something virtual. And when I started my journey, my son is 6. I didn't really have the connections because I was like everyday teaching. So I started taking some online courses because I love to learn and I couldn't get out of the house to learn. I had to do it, when he was sleeping. So I started learning things that were getting me excited, that maybe I could, maybe this was a time for me to kind of go into a consulting role. So I started a blog, and I started learning the back end of, WordPress. And then I had a lot of questions. So I took another course that would teach me kind of how to get some traffic to my blog. So kind of I identified with you a lot when you talked about all the courses that you took, because I've taken a few. But like you said, everything moves you forward. And then we just kind of came to a point last year where it was time, and I knew it. And our family just needed more flexibility. So I did not go back. And this past year is my first year out of the classroom. And so I I took another course, and I figured out how to start up my own business. And it's educational resources and consulting is what I do. And I just opened up my business in October of last year. And I met Lauren Shanti, and she told me about you. And what I was thinking initially was, I need a VA. I can't afford a VA, but I need a VA.
I remember the email or the message.
Yeah, I was like, please help me, but I can't afford it. But then I started looking and reading through your emails, and, wearing kind of both hats. Like, I need, while I'm growing my business, I need additional income. And, I've learned about income streams, right? So I know that it needs to be coming in more than one way, but this is like the perfect fit, because I need a VA, and it's kind of scary just knowing where to search for one, because of the trust thing and giving everybody your passwords. So I was finding your space as a safe place. And I said, well, that's great. Like, I could find a VA here, but this is really interesting. I could be a VA, and I guess I was thinking about it for a while, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, I have to be home. He's home. I have to be home. So I'm going to have to find something remote to do for additional income. So that was pretty much my, my deciding point, because and then I wanted to just say, for anybody that's in the course that's listening, that's kind of seen me kind of go kind of quickly, not to be discouraged, because I had a lot of the skills already. This was kind of like putting the puzzle pieces together for me, but I'm slowing it down and going through the course now, and just, I want to absorb all the information and
what part are you finding, since you did come with such a heavy background, what are you finding really eye-opening in the course?
A lot of pieces just fit together. I'm really excited to be here. It's I am, because you're amazing. Emily's amazing. And the way that you teach things just gave me little pieces of things that I had before, but it's very organized, and you can, like Emily says, at the end of 5 weeks, you can have a client. You can, because I already have one. I'm not even done yet. So she gives you everything that you need to be able to do this. And I try to put on the hat of, what if I didn't have the background, and it was all new to me? Would I feel overwhelmed? There's a lot of content, but don't feel like you have to absorb it all at once, like, just take it in, right? And the first things that you give people are the first things that they can use, right? So you just learn to do that first, and, get an example client like you recommend, and then you can, learn first until you're comfortable. But like Victoria said, don't wait until you're totally comfortable. You got to jump in. You got to jump in and know that you have all the access to the material and to you in the group. I started putting myself out there after the Facebook workshop. So that's kind of how I had a little head start.
Let's back up and talk about that really quick, because you came to me first wanting to hire a VA, first of all. Then you...
Crazy girl, what is she thinking about? Like, I'm talking to you about everything, right? I know.
No, we were talking about everything. So you actually bought my Facebook community management course, which I haven't promoted a whole lot. So I'm curious, how did you even find that? Did I tell you about it, or did you find it on your own?
I think that it was in one of your emails, and it was just kind of where I was at the moment, because, it had to be an email.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was, because I was thinking about an easy way for me to kind of start. And I, like what you were talking about, strengths. And I love being in Facebook groups. You can probably already tell I drop all the time in yours. I just love to interact with people.
Yeah.
And I've been, acknowledged for that before. So I thought, oh, it would be kind of fun to manage the back end. There is a lot more admin to it than I thought there would be. And I'm not crazy about that, but I like the communication part.
Yeah.
So I thought, I learned more about the other course once I was.
So you took the Facebook community course, and did you do it all in one setting?
You could have. I can't because I get interrupted a lot. But
you have a 6-year-old.
Yeah. So I'm surprised it hasn't knocked on the door yet, but there's like a sign on the door right now. Just wait. Yeah, it's I could have. I think I might have done it in 2 evenings.
Yeah. And how fast did you decide to enroll in the crash course? Like, at what point did you know that you wanted more?
Well, see, my mind was already in this space when I came looking for you again, that I needed to start earning money as a VA because I needed to monetize these skills. So I think I was pretty much already there. And that was kind of my way of getting an introduction.
Yeah. It was like, see if you like it, see if you are finding value. Sometimes you don't know with a course. Right. Like, I've taken courses where I'm scared, especially if I'm coming to the table with some skills already and I don't really know is it going to pay off. And especially with some of these, like James Wedmore's $3,000 business by design course. And I was like, I mean, I feel like I know all of this, James. Like, you really got to sell me on it because I don't want to flush down the toilet. Not that he doesn't get results, but you're kind of like always questioning that. So you dipped your toes in with the community manager course, which is awesome because to be honest, I haven't promoted it at all. And I've sold a couple. I haven't even really sold many, but everyone who's bought it has turned around and taken the crash course. 100%. And there's some people. But
it helps get used to you as a teacher, and I saw immediate results. Like I said, oh well, it would be a great way to gain some confidence, and I reached out to a couple of groups that I was in, and actually waiting to hear back from one.
Ooh.
So that could be another opportunity. So I'm excited, and so I mean, like for me, I was trying a few things to earn extra real income while I grow my business. And I tried a couple other things that weren't promising, funds, and I'm seeing immediate results to the degree that, I can manage at this point. And I'm love my first client. She's lovely and really open. And I think what Victoria was saying before about confidence, that was me too. Like I tried to put myself out there as a VA to my business groups before that I belonged to. And I knew I could do it, but I feel much more confident doing that now. With the course material. And there are just pieces that you provide, like just talking. I don't remember which course it was in, but talking about rocket fuel. I've been listening to that book and the 80-20 principle. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I don't really like this stuff. I like certain things that for me as a business owner, I really have to delegate out so that I can be more productive and make money in my own business. Right. And then, for now, I'm willing to do all of those tasks as a VA, but knowing that there is a space for me to specialize eventually, and I don't even have to do them as a VA. I think maybe sometimes, you think about, well, I'm going to be a support person. I'm going to have to do those things that I don't really enjoy doing. But if you wear all the hats at first, and then you come into I felt very confident doing my first consulting, and I could tell, she was a solopreneur. She's doing it on her own, just like me. So we talked about that a little bit, and she just needs somebody to help, and it's a good feeling to help people. And
oh my gosh, I feel like I barely talk about that in my marketing message because everybody online's like, focus on the money. You people make money, and I'm like, no, but I love helping small business owners move forward or take over their Facebook. I love when they don't care and they just let me do it all, and they give me good photos if I could get the perfect balance. But it's so much more fun to help them than it is to help a millionaire client. I can't explain it. It's where my heart's at.
Yeah. And that's the consulting piece, I think, too. Like just knowing you're helping somebody get moving and you're their sidekick, right? Like I love that idea of just being there when it's a small business or just somebody doing something on their own, to just be somebody they can talk to about things, and knowing that, you understand what that's like too. It's awesome. It really is awesome.
Hey, this podcast is sponsored by my very own GIF and sticker making workshop. Turn your clients' videos into GIFs, design branded stickers for Instagram stories, and master the art of making your own GIF for promo emails. This is fun unicorn magic that we can do behind the scenes easily for our clients. The workshop is 1 hour, just $17.99. The link is in the show notes, or go to emilyreaganpr.com/GIF workshop. That's GIF workshop. Back to the show. So you missed my webinar because you got into my funnel before my webinars were open, but just know that I'm going to be uploading a copy of it into the crash course. You should go back and watch it. I mean, skip over my sales pitch, but make fun of me or something.
It already worked, right? I'm going to put on my glasses because you're blurry, and I didn't want them to like shine, but I can't really see very well. So.
They're a little tiny. I think you'll live. Okay. Yeah, so go back and watch that because we do talk about the 5 areas that business owners are wanting to hire. And this exact process of getting in there, figuring out the skills you don't want to do by process of elimination and experience. And you can subcontract that out. Like Claudia inside our group just hired Rosa to help her watermark photos because Claudia's getting so busy she can't spend her own time doing some of the 80% of the work. So I talk about the 80-20 rule in the webinar, and you are going to love it.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's the number one reason people are hiring, and they are hiring in different areas because of their skill set's different and what they love is different. So like Victoria was saying, she's not going to be an integrator, and that's A-okay. However, I'm about to post a community manager role in there for a client who's doing really well, and he could use somebody like you. So when I post that, take a look at it. He sent it to me last night. I just haven't had a free second to post jobs. Like I'm so behind in job postings. Isn't it crazy?
That's a great
What do you think about? What do you think about all the job postings? Like, did you believe me that they would be in there, or?
I was blown away. And then I said, well, I'm still learning, but there was one that just kind of stood out to me, and it was a really good fit. So I'm looking at the things that, I appreciate that you tell us to kind of filter and think about what we would like the most, because now that I see myself truly as like a visionary person, and then explained it a lot to me just as a person, that I've been doing all the things because I have to do all the things, but now I understand the things that kind of frustrate me more just as a business owner. But the idea that I could not have to do those types of things even as a VA was really interesting. So, you can do that. You do what you need to do to, build relationship, and that's completely fine. But so right now what we're doing, because in your course you have the kind of like your plan to work with them, point 0 and then phase 1, which is excellent because that's the kind of organization that I needed. Yeah. And I can refer to when I'm talking to her. So we had kind of like a trial, a couple of hours, and then met back to talk about how that went. And so then I knew like what to suggest for next. So like Emily gives you like all that stuff.
Yeah. Cause I felt like I probably don't talk about that. And she's referring to the new client action plan. I probably don't talk about it enough, but I have worked with over 50 clients. My copywriter wants me to say an exact number, so I say 51. But I have seen that people come in all different phases and stages and not have some of the building blocks like put together, the foundations built, and having to come back. And it makes you look so smart when you're like, well, you haven't done this yet. Like, let's go back and do this. So hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
What's the problem? The pool does not open until 4:00. We have 3 hours. Go play.
So I think this is another thing that helped me connect with you because I get like balancing the real life, and that's like but seriously, like there were times when, with the quarantine, I was like, what am I going to do? I have to get more work. And like, just honestly, I could be tearful saying how much I appreciate you showing me that there was an option for me because I have to be there for him, and you really can like grab a half hour here and grab a few hours there. And even for my teacher community, I've let them know about it too, because, summers, what are you going to get for a job if you have to like pay for a sitter and go somewhere else? You can get work. You can learn how to do the work from you. Absolutely. And have work at home on hours you can pick.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's easy and the money will
No.
come to you, and it's stressful. Like when
Mhm.
when I know I need a chunk of time to sit down and do things and really use my
Yep.
brain to solve a tech problem,
I
like I bite my nails. Like I get
know.
stressed out. However, there are some things you've got to kind of be aware of those tasks and
Mhm.
know the things that you can work ahead on. And for me, early on, when I didn't even really see the big picture of all of this, for me it was Pinterest because I could
Mhm.
work ahead and I didn't
Mhm.
have to be available. There's
Mhm.
been stressful times where I've been on vacation or I've been traveling for Thanksgiving, and Jennifer was trying to call me to get stuff done, and sometimes I made myself too available, but it
Mhm.
also made me successful. So, but you have to learn that, and you do
Mhm.
learn your boundaries, but you can sneak in 30 minutes here. And I used to track my hours on a notepad because I would start and stop so much,
Mhm.
and it was easy for me to physically have a notepad, and I
Mhm.
would knock out 30 minutes of Pinterest. I had a lot of Pinterest clients. I would knock it out during breakfast while they're eating. I would knock it out at nap time. And if nap time didn't happen, I was a stress ball. Just how it was. If I could
Mhm.
go back and talk to that old Emily, which I do have some friends in that part, I'm like, calm down. It can wait.
Mhm.
But I used to do a lot of my work in the evening,
Me
and
too. That's
now
when I would.
that I have some daycare, I finally went in with daycare with number 4. Once she turned 1, it changed my life. I mean, that's when everything exploded. I knew I had to start teaching and scaling because all these clients were coming at me and I could
Mhm.
not turn them down. My heart was to help them. And I
Mhm.
felt so bad. And then
Mhm.
I had a couple of friends. I'm like, you come work for me. I'll show you. Just please help her. And I'm
Mhm.
an Enneagram too. So
Yeah.
it was the perfect fit, but you really can do
Mhm.
this. And
Thank you.
you jumped in and you got a client, I think within less than 2 weeks of being in the course. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was very exciting, and she's a really good fit,
That
and
and
she's
that's even
happy.
better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That
I
is
have a lot to learn, and I would love to have more clients. Right now, I just want to keep learning,
yeah.
and making sure because there's some business pieces that I have to like factor out, and I'm trying to like I tried to skip ahead to look at that, and I said no, I'm just going to go the next 3 weeks of the course. It's only 3 weeks,
Yeah.
that I have to just take it a little at a time and slow it.
Well, there's a reason I pulled out some of the homework. I might have to
Hmm.
tweak some of it. Some
Hmm.
people are jumping in ready much faster, but it's intended to be done in 5 weeks. So you do the
Yeah.
homework simultaneously as you're learning the content. And that way, by week 5, you feel
Right.
enough set up to do it. And you don't need a fancy website to get started. You don't even need a portfolio. You can start with some of these client leads coming into our group know that I have a lot of new students. They know the value they're getting. Some people do want somebody with experience and they might not be the right fit. They might want this like ridiculous laundry list of
Hmm.
requirements. They're not
Hmm.
going to be the right fit, but we're getting really good job leads in there. I just went off on a tangent there. I was going to ask you something else.
It's all right. I don't mind.
So you're going to get your business together and then you'll probably go in. How many more hours of work do you think you can handle?
I'm not sure yet because I'm enjoying the work, and right now, I it's a time of pivoting for business, right? You do what you need to do. So right now, we're just kind of getting on a new summer schedule. So I didn't want to overcommit for these couple of weeks. I want to finish the course
Yeah.
for real because 5 weeks is a reasonable amount of time to just say let me learn this well, let me get my business little things in order. I had a PayPal account. You can, if you have a PayPal, a business PayPal account, you can get started too.
So what would you say to somebody who's on the fence right now thinking about
Mhm.
the course? I know my number one pushback is the money. People don't understand. Maybe I'm not painting a good value picture of the value, but the price scares people off. What do you say to that?
Well, I'll be honest. I've been running into that too because I think that it's a shame that people aren't giving it a chance because it's completely worth the value. Would you take like a college course to learn something? And
Yeah.
to me, it's immediate payoff, Emily. Like you're offering something that's going to give people immediate work, and that's worth it. with the teachers that I've talked to, I know a lot of them were kind of interested, and they say, "Oh, but you have to pay money to earn it. You have to make an investment." And I think sometimes the type of people that would be great at this work would be willing to pay money on their family, but maybe not on their own personal growth.
Yes.
And you know, like it sounds like a lot of money, but I mean, I have my own story about, you know, how I had to debate it, and then, you know, that money came in the mail in a check the next day, and it was like confirmation to me that this is what I was supposed to do for us. But you know, it's you have to, as somebody just said, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself, and it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I do it too. I struggle with that too. And I felt really guilty with the first course that I invested in. And this was a while ago before I was aware that this was a thing. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever I learned in college in 2002 is done and over. And I'm going to have to do something to brush up and get experience. And it's not, the answer for me is not a master's degree. It's not tens of thousands of dollars in another degree. And think about it, $700 to start a business that's going to make you money. When you think about it,
no,
like that. So you've invested in other courses. What can you tell me what those other courses were?
I wasn't sure if we were, you know what?
Yeah. So curious.
So I'm a teacher, and I guess we go to what we're familiar with first, right? So my very first course was with Angela Watson.
Okay.
She's an educational consultant, and it was called the 40-hour teacher work week, which was basically getting some balance into your work life.
Oh, okay.
And it's what I needed with a 2-year-old as a single parent. But she kind of opened my eyes, because I was looking at her credentials, and I'm like, wait, you know, we have the same credentials. I want to do that. That was what I kind of learned from taking her class. I want to do that. So and then I went to another educator's course, Charity Preston. She does some other like teacher blog kind of things, and it was teaching blog traffic school was her her thing. And so that's where she was great tech teacher, and I think I learned a lot from her of tech that I just never would have known otherwise, and that gave me a lot of confidence. Then I started to branch out, and I went to Amy Porterfield's email course.
Oh, you did? Okay, I don't think I kind of had a feeling. That's why I wanted to ask you. I had a feeling. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I haven't. At the beginning of last year, I took that because I knew that my email list was what was critical, and I learned a lot from that. What I've always, and then, you know, the more I took courses, the more I felt like, you know, I'm a teacher. I would love to make my own courses, you know, and I took Nicole Walters 1K One Day to build my business. Yes, it's wonderful. And that's just like an amazing experience. That's where I met Lauren.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Lauren's trying to get me to sign up for it. Okay. So I saw Nicole Walters speak on stage. Well, maybe just once on my client's podcast. So I got introduced to her very early on. She has no idea who I am. That's not what I mean. I just mean I heard her story and her energy. But when I saw her on stage, like I just wanted to be with her. You know, like
she's amazing. She's amazing.
Your friend, and I just heard she has a Today Show, that's a newspaper show on USA.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. But that was my investment in my business that I took in the fall, but I got so much more from it. It's a whole community, but I got all my building blocks and all my ducks in a row. So yeah. And then I took Emily's course. You were my next course.
I don't belong in that realm, because you did Amy Porterfield, Nicole Walters, and then me. I'm so honored.
You're right up there with them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been amazing. If I ever think of that question I was going to ask you, I will just ask you, because it's gone. We do have a lot of teachers in the group who are curious about this work. And even I have a teacher on my own team, Nicole, and during the summer, she can rev up a little bit. And then during the school week, or the school year or whatever's going to happen here, she can rev down a little bit with her clients. So it really is an area that teachers do well. And it's funny. I said out loud, which anytime I say anything out loud, when I'm watching it, I always eat my words every time. But I said I didn't want to be a teacher. But my degree is journalism. Like I like sharing content and information. I just didn't want to work with small kids.
Yeah.
In my head, that's what I was thinking teaching
Right.
was. And
Right.
now I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I got married. I said I'd never get married. This is kind of funny. I guess I'm really not that opinionated, but here I am. And yesterday when I was doing that gift training, I had so much fun. Like I love teaching the tech. And it's so interesting because you teachers have such an advantage in this realm. This e-learning market's going crazy. You have such an advantage in like I wish I had that skill set. Like I don't even know what I don't know right now.
Well, I am still going to continue to encourage teachers because if I had known, last year was kind of a scary time for me when I decided I wasn't going back, and I wish I had known about you then, really, because it would have made me feel better to be earning some income. But as a side business, or even if you're feeling a little bit disenchanted with teaching or confused, or need to know that you can do something else, because sometimes it's not for everybody for the long haul. And just, I think a lot of teachers think they don't have other, like, what else could I do? But your skills are so transferable, and not even transferable just for extra money. It's such a good fit.
We have a whole blog about why teachers are a good fit. And it's amazing because teachers are because you have all the empathy in the world, all the organization, all the ability to learn on the fly, like the skills are there. It's just not packaged in a way that people always appreciate,
Right.
So that's what we're doing here. So the teachers have a place here.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. What's funny is I used to be a substitute teacher. Did I ever tell you that? I didn't tell you that.
No.
I did it in college, and I did it in one of our duty assignments when we're kind of like in and out of places. It's a good side hustle. And I laugh because usually the substitute teachers are asked to put in a video. And I loved when I got to explain math. I loved it. I love when I got to read Spanish and fake it.
Oh. Yeah, you have to wear all the hats for that too. It's no joke.
It was fun. So anyway, okay, I would just keep chatting. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you're interested in following in Carolyn's path, the crash course is now open. It's closing tomorrow night at midnight. I'm not sure when it's going to open it again, but Carolyn just said it here yourself. Like it is going to give you the tools to get work right away. I can't promise you that, but I'm posting the jobs, and you have a huge opportunity right here to join us and get the skills and get the confidence. So I'd love to have you if you're interested. And feel free to reach out to any of to anybody in this group and ask them what they think. And everyone will tell you. Everyone will be honest and tell you the truth and let you know. So, okay. Thanks, Carolyn. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this interview with Carolyn. She had so much to share, and I find her story so encouraging. So many of us women are looking for a change in our life. We want to be home with our kids, and the freelance world, this digital marketing world, gives us that avenue to do so. And I love that Carolyn is carving out her own niche. She's also been talking to me about helping course creators, because we're getting a lot of leads from Amy Porterfield's group. A lot of people are trying to build online courses and memberships, and they need somebody who actually understands teaching and education and has the tech skills and has the marketing skills. So someone like Carolyn, who's a teacher, is the perfect fit. So she is doing pretty good. So check out the show notes for ways to connect with Carolyn, find her podcast, and go give her some loving. I think she's doing amazing, and she's thriving during this time. So tune in next week. We are going to talk about who makes a good freelancer. And this answer is going to surprise you, because I think there's a little bit of a difference between the entrepreneur and the doer and the freelancer. So I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye. If you're ready to learn the digital marketing and social media skills that will get you hired online, head over to vacrashcourse.com, where you can learn about my 5-week program, the Digital Media VA Crash Course. Small business owners and solopreneurs want to hire someone who gets it and who can help them implement just about everything. They're looking for a magical assistant who does it all. With my comprehensive training, you can get your foot in the door and become a unicorn. Check out vacrashcourse.com.
So there are just a couple of different things that I want to take it a little slower.
Oh, what happened there? I like blipped out for a second. That was weird.
It was time.
Oh, now I lost. I had a really good question for you. Shoot.